Hello, this is just a short video to try to better explain how a network diagram is constructed. And we always begin with a precedence list. A precedence list describes how the activities are related to each other. It's sort of like the idea of toes go in first when putting on your shoes. Another example from construction would be that you can't put the roof on until the walls are up. Or in the case of changing a tire, obviously you need to open the trunk before you get the tire out, if in fact the tire is stored in the trunk. If you're jacking up a car, you learn right away that you should loosen the lug nuts before you jack it up. That way you're not likely to tip the car off the jack once you get it up in the air. So there are relationships, precedences that must happen in a project. And these are usually reflected in a precedence list. And here I have one in front of me for my diagram we'll be discussing quite a bit in this class. And along the left-hand margin we have the activities, and there you can see they're A through I. And we have what they follow. Activity A, for example, must be first because it follows nothing. Similarly, activity B follows nothing. Activity C follows A. Activity D follows B. Activity E follows A. And then activities F and G follow two things, C and D. So what I did here was I drew a circle for each of these activities on a blank sheet of paper without any connections whatever, just scattered them on the page more or less in alphabetical order from left to right. And then I drew these arrows between them. And the way I do that is by looking at the precedence list. And since A and B have nothing, they don't follow anything, therefore they are listed on this diagram, as you can see, as the first activities in the network. There's no incoming arrows. Going back to the precedence list, I see that activity C follows A. So I look for C on the diagram, the little circle called C, which is right there, and I do an arrow from A to C in that direction. Going back to the precedence list, I see activity B. I see activity D follows B. So again, I look for D on the diagram, and you can see that I see the circle right there, which I had drawn earlier, and I drew the arrow from B to D. Then we go to the next one on the list, which is E. E follows A. So again, I found E on here, and it's way over there. Again, there's no necessarily order to this. I just going to have crisscrossing lines. It's not possible to avoid. Now there's E, and I drew an arrow all the way over from A, all the way over the top of the diagram. And then I go to F and G, which are following two things. So you look for F on here, and you notice that F has two incoming arrows, although there's an arrowhead missing on that lower arrow, if you can imagine an arrowhead there. It is following C and D. So there's two arrows coming in to F. And we should see the similar thing for G because it follows the same two things. So F follows G follows D, and there's C. Then I continue down the diagram until I reach H follows E and F. That's two things. So I look for H on here, and you see I'd previously put E on there, and H follows E and F. And finally, I follows G. I follows G.